Assalamu Alaikum, everyone, and welcome. So today's explainer isn't just your standard product review. Oh no, think of this more like a masterclass, a real deep dive into the hidden world of everyday ingredients. I'm your host, and today we're putting our daily choices right under the microscope. We're going to examine something you probably see at every single checkout aisle, Mentos Gum. But more importantly, we're going to learn how to really think about what we're consuming and build those mindful habits. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, here's our syllabus for today's investigation. We'll start with the hidden halal question, break down the anatomy of chewing gum, look at the global formula problem, reveal the Halal Radar verdict, and finally, we'll wrap up with everyday halal integrity. Section 1. The hidden halal question, beyond the front label. To kick off our first lesson, I want you to look right past that shiny, colorful label of a harmless-looking mint. The big question is, can a Muslim chew Mentos gum with absolute confidence? Now, most of us just see this as a normal, fresh breath quick fix, right? Cool taste, clean mouth, zero big concerns. But as mindful consumers, we've got to challenge those instant assumptions about things that seem so simple. Because the truth is, the whole story is absolutely not what they show you on the front of the package. The real question is actually hidden in the ingredients, the source, and the manufacturing process. The crucial halal detail here, it isn't that bold sugar-free banner or the refreshing mint flavor. It's actually buried way down in the tiny fine print on the back of the pack. Section 2. Anatomy of chewing gum. What's exactly inside? Let's put this everyday item under the microscope and really break it down layer by layer. Think of these next few points as your ingredient flashcards. First up on the list, gum base. This is the vague little phrase hidden on the ingredient list that literally gives chewing gum its chew. Now, what's super interesting about this is that while gum base isn't the same thing as gelatin, it completely lacks transparency on most labels. And you know, for a Muslim, that lack of clarity really matters. We have to question if any part of that complex mixture, the polymers, resins, or softeners, comes from animal-derived sources. If it does, well, its halal status depends entirely on whether that specific source is halal certified. Moving on to our second flashcard, glycerol, which you'll sometimes see listed as glycerin. Its function is actually pretty straightforward. It's an ingredient used to help keep the chewing gum soft and moist. Simple enough, right? But of course, as dedicated investigators of halal integrity, we have to pause and ask the golden question. Where exactly does it come from? Notice the stark divide we have here. Glycerol can come from plant or synthetic sources, which are perfectly halal and completely acceptable. Or it can come from animal fat. If it's derived from non-halal animal fat, it sits firmly on the unacceptable side of this crucial divide. So the main takeaway is that without a clear halal certification or direct confirmation from the company itself, a careful Muslim simply cannot assume which side this glycerol falls on. We need actual proof, not just guesses. All right, flashcard number 3, flavorings. Mentos gum often contains these really complex natural and artificial flavor systems. But here's the hidden catch. These flavor systems often use alcohol as a solvent or carrier to extract the taste. And if that alcohol remains in the final product, that instantly becomes a major halal concern. Unless the company specifically steps up and confirms that their flavorings are halal suitable and completely alcohol-free in the final product, that concern stays right on the table. And here's our final flashcard for this section, carmine. Some Mentos products, especially the brightly colored fruit versions you see in certain markets, have used this ingredient. Now, carmine is a color derived from insects, which raises some serious scholarly concerns around impurity and permissibility for a lot of Muslims. To be completely fair, it's not in every single pack of Mentos. But honestly, this perfectly illustrates why checking the specific packaging of what you're holding in your hand matters so much. Section 3. The global formula problem. Formulas vary by country. So let's shift our focus from food science to a quick global geography lesson. Here's the wild reality of international manufacturing. Mentos gum, made by Perfetti von Melle, simply does not have one single formula around the world. Actually, formulas vary dramatically by country. A pack you buy in one region can be entirely different chemically from a pack in another region. Some packs are halal certified in certain places, while others simply are not. Because these formulas change across borders like that, there is absolutely no universal halal ruling that exists for all Mentos gum everywhere. The answer to is it halal depends 100% on where you live and the exact pack you're holding right now. Section 4. The Halal Radar verdict. The final verdict. Class, it's time for the final grade on our subject today. Based on the thorough investigation we've just reviewed, the verdict is avoid. Mentos Gum is not universally halal certified, and as we saw on our flashcards, those key hidden ingredients, the gum base, the glycerol, the flavorings, colors, and emulsifiers, they all must be verified. Now, if the pack is explicitly halal certified by a reliable authority, then that specific product is totally fine to consume. But if it's not certified and those sources aren't confirmed, the source material states a careful Muslim should avoid it. You literally just can't chew it with confidence without that solid verification. Section 5. Everyday Halal Integrity. Mindful Consumption. I want to elevate this from just a simple review of chewing gum to a foundational lesson about spiritual mindfulness. Consider this really profound principle. Islam does not only ask what something looks like. Islam asks where it comes from, how it is made, and what it leads to. This right here is the very core of our lesson today. True faith and integrity involve looking way past the surface of things. It requires us to actively question what enters our bodies, understanding that dietary purity isn't just some aesthetic label, it's a profound spiritual requirement. So, before we wrap up our masterclass, here's your actionable homework. If you use this product, or frankly any processed food in your pantry, just follow a simple verification system. Step 1, check your exact pack. Don't just judge it by the brand name alone. Step 2, look for a reliable halal certification logo. Step 3, read that ingredient list very carefully. Keep an eye out for gelatin, carmine, or alcohol-based flavorings. And finally, step 4, if things are murky, contact the company directly and ask them about the origins of their glycerol, flavorings, and gum base. If your answer is clear, great. But if the answer remains unclear, just leave it. Which leaves us with a final question for you to ponder today. What other everyday items in your pantry are hiding unverified ingredients? While we certainly don't need to live in fear of every single label, we do have a duty to verify. Fresh breath is good, sure, but a pure choice is so much better. Choosing the clear, pure option over a doubtful one, that is the true mark of everyday halal integrity. Thank you so much for joining today's explainer. Stay curious, keep reading those labels, and keep learning.